on a busy road here in Orlando. We're going to look at yet another local cemetery. Today's travel adventure takes us to Taft Memorial Cemetery. Let's go in through the gates and see what we can find. This is another historical medium-sized cemetery, folks, that was established in 1920. For one thing, it looks like they've got chains all around the place, so I think the only thing really anybody can do is to walk by it, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I hope everybody's having a beautiful day today. It's windy out. I'm here in Orlando at another local cemetery. There was a few, but some I just simply couldn't get to. So this is they died in 2005. So I'm trying to see if there's any old markers we can find. But I did read this isn't a historic cemetery. It looks like, see, you've got, so it's 1913 to 1992. I have no idea who that is. And then you've got another one, his name is Willie Thomas. So I think, so you have our First World War II veteran here. So it looks like they're still recovering from the hurricanes of 2022. You see where they're chopping wood down there. So here's another homemade 1913 and 1982. So, and then here's a couple of more. These 1906 to 1985. They were up there in age. And then you've got another, I guess, public. So, this is one of those that's supposedly a historic cemetery, as I mentioned before, but it doesn't particularly say how is it historic. Is it a prominent African American cemetery that's historical in nature? Is it early settler cemetery? I don't know. But I enjoyed it because it's local, so it doesn't, I'm not far from home, so that's a good thing. But there looks like there's a lot of these older stones that's buried under dirt. You know, when we get windstorms or any type of storm, then you know how that works. See, look at this, 1956 to 1992. And then you have William Walker, 1950 to 1998. And then you have an above-ground grave of Paul Jenkins, 1946 to 1993. So, see, these are almost all the same, where somebody has just, I guess, poured a concrete block and kind of hand drew the dates of death and their name. So this borders, so you over there you've got trailers. I have no idea what type of company that is. This gentleman here, he was quite young when he died. So, I guess maybe, what are they gonna do? Find a way of taking care of it? I don't know. But, the graves go, you've got some that go all the way in the back over there, and we'll go out and take a look. But, yeah, there's not much to this cemetery, but when I first seen it and I looked at that old gate, I'm like, ooh, oh, cool, you know. Maybe this is going to be an interesting one, but I'm not getting that vibe, folks. You know, where you go to these older cemeteries, the settlement cemeteries, or the or whoever, and you find some really cool markers. Ferrer Lodiso. I know I butchered that name. I apologize. Nice looking gentleman. Those are the ones I get excited about the most. As I said in pretty much every blog, every cemetery has its own unique history. That's a transportation company. That's a bus right there. So you've got a few above ground graves over here that really have these are more local, 2016. And then so far I haven't seen any, you've got a Vietnam veteran here. You hardly see those. The Jordans, now he's the earliest one where it's 1967. I haven't seen any later graves. And they said that there was a lot of older graves here, but I don't see it. Whenever I go to a cemetery, you see where I'm at, I'm in the back here. Whenever I go to a cemetery, I always try to do my research. Now, I have no idea who they are. And we're going to leave it at that. I'm not one of those that like to do weird things. If I can find a way of doing that, I certainly will. But no, not in this instance. So there's a World War II vet. He died in 2002. And that's an above ground grave right there. I think that's a cemetery. No, excuse me, concrete. Maybe they're a concrete developer. Ooh, the sun's out. Feels a little bit better. Oh yeah, I hate the cold. And And you'll see this is just all expansive space. I don't think there's any unmarked graves. I couldn't find any, but that don't mean that there may be a few. I just don't know. So these are just homemade. Oh, okay. So 1927 was when they died. So this must be the older part in the back, and there doesn't look like there's very few. I was the oldest so far. Okay, so there's one that is 1955, so I found a 1923 and a 1955. That's just no way I can determine who that is. If there was any older graves, the elements would have just deteriorated the markers. And you've got a few above ground graves here. Irma May Clark, 2015. D'Angelo Cox, 2013. You have a few right there. And then if I go towards the very back, the farthest corner, you see, I'm all the way in the back. There's 3 graves right here, but I don't think I'm going to be able to know who they are. And this is kind of disappointing that I'm not able to. Well, Alicia Hayes, 1917 to 1922, age 5. Gone to rest. So that's the oldest one, and then there's a Hayes here, so that must be a relative. And then Manny Hayes, and then Dan Hayes. So there's some, but so that was the oldest grave that that I could find. Well, things could be misleading, but that's okay. We had an adventure. I hope everybody's doing good. And oh, okay, so he was born in Luquillo in Puerto Rico. And Luquillo is right on the coast. That's a beach town in Puerto Rico. And it's right near the town of Ceiba. And that's a pretty area. It's a pretty area. But like I said, every cemetery has its own history. Let's see. 1953, World War I. And we've seen some cool ones. Here's another World War II, 1979. 1926 grave. Lots of local Hispanics buried here. So there must have been somebody that initially marked the graves with some type of homemade marker. That's the only thing I can think of. So I'm just looking at a lot of these markers. See that? Antoine Destoun. So I don't know how they've marked those that have been buried here for a while. They died 3 years ago. So it's another local cemetery. We've seen a couple of older graves, quite a few above ground, and there's always a reason for why they've done that. Well, here's an old one here. So, 1922, 1885, and so look at the picture. But that's a new stone. So, so then, look at this. So you have somebody that 1912 to 2004, and then you have World War II veteran here. So it's a whole family. And then you've got another one here. And then you've got Dave, who died 1881 to 1928. So that tells me that they must have been settler families here. Oh, okay, so here's some more straighters. You got all of those over here. And then if you go here, you've got more. So you've got a straighter, Wilma, and then you've got another one here, Wilton. And then you got another one here. Now I'm wondering, I think they were probably a settler family. But anyway. Well, folks, that's going to do it for today's visit to Taft Memorial Cemetery. If you get an opportunity, please like, subscribe, click that notification bell that lets you know when a new video will be uploaded. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend, tell a relative, tell the dog, tell the cat. Through your voice is how my channel grows, and I appreciate everybody that takes the time that views my videos. If you get an opportunity, check out my earlier ones. With that, I want to thank you for watching, and so long for now.